G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. And I'm coming to you from on top of the International Passenger Terminal, and as you can see, it's a glorious autumn day. The sun is warm, the breeze has got a bit of a chill in it, but it's just a perfect mixture of chilly breeze but warm sunshine, which makes today all that more special. Anyway, let's go on a bit of a walk and talk and have a chat about a book summary that I want to bring to you today. It's an interesting book summary entitled The Year Without Pants by an author called Scott Berkun. Scott Berkun wrote an interesting book entitled The Year Without Pants, and we'll have a bit of a mull over his messages and see where it leads us and what we can learn from this book summary. So in his book summary here, he makes a very interesting point that most people doubt that online meetings can work, but they somehow overlook that most in-person meetings don't work either. So this book here is about productivity and how to get the most out of your team and out of your work group. So let's go and have a bit of a look to see if there's any hacks that we can use to learn something and to make better use of our team structures and the environments in which we try to work in. So the first structured point that comes out of this book is that you need to hire the right people, and you need to train them from the minute they join the organisation. I've mentioned before on other 5am clubs that I've been very fortunate to have worked for a number of top tier firms, a lot of top tier corporate organisations. But the ones which really stand out are the ones like IBM, where the minute you joined there, you just went through training session after training session, where they amped you up, they skilled you with as many skills as possible, so that you could be the best possible employee or the best possible resource that you could possibly be. So they go on to say that you need to hire the best person for the job rather than the person who has the best skill at being interviewed. How many times have we seen this happen over our careers, that the best people for the job are often overlooked because they get trumped by a person who's just great at interviewing and very, very appealing at those soft skills, but when it comes to getting the job done, they just don't fit into the team. They just don't understand the corporate culture. So it's all bloody talk, with no horsepower to back it up. But that is always going to be the case, and it's always going to remain the case that the enemy of the top performer is the one who outdoes them in the interview stakes and is able to con their bosses into hiring the person who's most appealing when it comes to interviewing. So in order to get around this or through this, what the author here suggests is to have role-play interviews or project-based interviewing techniques where you get to see the person in action, and then you can weed out the talker from the performer. Let me just adjust the mic here to get a better capture of my voice. And the other thing that the authors talk about here is that when you join an organisation, it's important that you're given the tools to do your job, the tools that make you effective from week one, so that you become a key contributor, a productive contributor from the moment you hit the ground. And it's key. The key is to train and align the values with the mission. So they're the key points that come out of this book. To say that training is key, I always remember learning when I was at IBM that it's all about training and retraining. You need to train somebody and then retrain them so that they keep on growing and developing, and that training aligns the individuals with the corporate values, with the corporate mission, because at the end of the day, each person is an ambassador of the organisation to clients, both internally and externally. The other thing that the author talks about, which I absolutely love, is the importance of allowing people who you hire to implement their ideas without filter, to give them a free rein to go on a path of implementing their ideas, whatever they're passionate about, which will add value to the job, which will add value to the organisation, to the clients, you name it. Because what happens is we sometimes hire the best people and then we hamstring them. We don't allow them to implement their ideas. We don't allow them to freely express themselves in their job by spending too much time playing politics, by spending too much time trying to get them to fit into a particular sort of corporate culture. But at the end of the day, you just basically need to let people run with their ideas and just give them a bit of slack so they can grow and develop, and then you can adjust your process later on depending on how successful they are at implementing and how good their ideas end up being. Because most ideas, most great ideas, never see the light of day, and more interesting than that the idea never sees the light of day or never looks like what they were first conceived or imagined to be like, because everybody else jumps on board, puts in their 2 cents worth, and the horse, or the thoroughbred horse, ends up looking like a bloody donkey or like a camel with 2 humps, because everybody else has jumped on board to make their additions. And all of this sort of stuff, when you hobble people in their job, when you don't allow them to express themselves and do the things that they need to do in order to express their vision, then you're basically taking really, really good people who are top and leaders in their field, and you're nobbling them, and you're teaching them how to be helpless. And it's a condition called learned helplessness that a lot of people suffer from. So a lot of great people in the wrong environment end up becoming scarred, end up becoming absolutely hopeless and incompetent and impotent at their job, because they can never get anything done that needs to be done because of the roadblocks and the hurdles and the red tape that is foisted upon them and gets them all tangled up, and they lose their momentum, they lose their mojo, and the organisation and the clients end up being the people penalised, because we're all fairly sensitive when it comes to our ideas, and it's important for people to feel as if their ideas are appreciated as well as their inputs. The risk of killing your employees or family's creativity is very real. while the chance of damaging customer loyalty is much less. So this is an important point, because what the author is saying is that you're better off letting employees having a free rein in terms of creativity, because the impact on the customer from a negative perspective is far less than the impact on the employee in terms of destroying their motivation, which will have a greater impact on client loyalty down the path. So you're better off keeping your employees happy, keeping them motivated, keeping them pumping out their ideas and supporting those ideas, because sooner or later that freedom will develop into better outcomes for you and your organisation. So the other thing that the author talks about here is that we need to be a little bit reserved in our needs to get things done or get things changed immediately. And the call to action here is, if it breaks, don't fix it. Don't fix it at first. This is a brilliant point, and I've seen it time and time again in all the organisations that I've worked in. People end up doing things which don't add very much value. So what the author here is saying is that if something breaks, if a process breaks or something happens, what you need to do is to hold back and don't be too quick to try and fix it. Because what you need to do is you need to sit back and see how much it really adds value to your organisation. And if you don't get a lot of complaints, if you don't get a lot of problems emanating from that broken process or that thing that needs to be fixed, then what you need to understand is that it may not need to get fixed. It may be redundant. It may be useless. So the call to action, once again, is if something breaks, if something gets damaged, the first thing you should do is refrain from trying to fix it immediately. Sit back, observe, get feedback from clients, get feedback from people around you, and ask yourself the question, do we really need to fix this? Do we need to fix it immediately? Do we need to enhance it, or can we live without it? It's a powerful message for all and sundry, because people are out there fixing things, doing things, creating work for one another, which doesn't add value, but it has a compounding effect. If you're creating stuff which doesn't add value and requires to be maintained and managed, you're creating all of this unnecessary work which doesn't add value to your customers, doesn't add value to your organisation, and if anything, it constipates your organisation with people who are just doing things for the sake of doing things, without the purpose of doing things that add value and create an outstanding customer experience. You're better off refocusing your efforts and your money and your payroll on people and things that add significant value, things that will keep your customers delighted and coming back time and time again. So it's important to keep on trying and revamping your product on occasion, but the best thing to do is to do nothing initially, and when you start getting feedback, when you start getting complaints, that's when you'll really understand and know whether or not the thing that is damaged needs to be repaired, or whether or not it needs to be upgraded, as I said before, or just completely dumped because it's no longer useful. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I really enjoyed it, especially sitting here in the sun, getting my my dosage of vitamin D, even though I'm wearing a jacket just to keep me warm from the chilling air. It's going to be a long winter by the looks of it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful day. I love cold days, but which have sun, and that winter or that autumn sun just on a colder body just feels so nurturing and just so wonderful. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay reasonable, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's take a few lessons from this book entitled The Year Without Pants, and not fix things immediately. Wait. If something is damaged, just wait to see if it creates a big problem. Because if it doesn't create a problem, then you need to ask yourself, do we need it? Do we actually need this in our organisation? And or do we need a better version, or do we need no version? There's a great opportunity to sit and think rather than react, to sit, think and respond with something that's going to add much, much better and deeper value. So let people run with their ideas in the organisation. Don't hobble the ideas, and don't be tempted to change people's ideas. Let them express themselves, let them have a go, because it's only through letting people have a go without inhibiting them, without changing them, without invalidating them, that they are able to grow in their role and add greater value and become a valuable team member. So I think I'll leave it there. So thank you, and I look forward to coming to you again, maybe tomorrow now, from a different place, a different location. It is a special day for me today. It's my youngest daughter's 31st birthday. So happy birthday, Artemis. It's a wonderful day for me. It's a day which has got both bitter and sweet. It's sweet because it's my daughter's birthday, and I have a bit of pain and sadness because it's also the day that my father passed away. He passed away on my daughter's 18th birthday, which was a very, very sad occasion for us. So we'll try and make it up to you, Artie, and I look forward to catching up with you as soon as we can. I know you're going up to Hamilton Island for a work function, but when you get back, we'll certainly go out and have a great time. Yassas to everybody. Vilakia from Jim's 5am Club, and I'll come to you again, hopefully, with another message, a message of empowerment, where we can become the wind beneath our wings to enable us all to live a life of an empowered life, where we can live, learn and pass it on. Take care once again, sa sarapao, and we'll chat again soon. Bye.